Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. I want to start off with a big thank you to Karen, one of my subscribers who met me for lunch, and she brought with me tea from, I believe it's Tokyo. Oh, I can't wait to try it. Yum. Thank you, Karen. Also, one of my subscribers sent me this. This was a poster located in Sussex at a pharmacy. Uh-huh. Now, as usual, we have a lot to cover, so let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. To start off, it was Camilla's birthday, 76 she is, and Catherine and William, gave a sweet nod out. So did the king. There was a gun salute, the whole bit. All of her patronages put out sweet messages, but not a peep from Harry and Meghan. Anybody surprised by that? Because I'm not. Moving on. All right, moving on. Apparently, even though King Charles, Prince William, they all joined the armed forces before becoming king. Apparently, they're saying now that George will not be required to serve in the military before he ascends to the throne. They said, in theory, there's nothing to stop him from pursuing a career as for an example, as an astronaut if he wants to, but the rules are different and he doesn't have to follow the old formula of going into the military and then royal life. And, this just shows that the times are moving on. Good. Here we go. Moving on, we're going on to Prince William. Apparently, he bought an electric scooter, and that is how he's whizzing around, Windsor Estate. It's environmentally friendly, and when he needs to see his dad, he just hops on the scooter, and, it's a 2 or 3 mile round trip, they're saying, from Adelaide Cottage to Windsor Castle. So it's easier than walking or by using a car. Very good. Next up is Beatrice's wedding anniversary, her 3rd year, and so Edo put up the following photos and said, quote, "I am so grateful for every moment we have shared, every challenge we have overcome, and every dream we have pursued together." What a romantic. All right, moving on. Next up, Princess Diana's sweater, the one with the sheep on it, is apparently on display now. It's going to go, they think, for about $70,000. She wore it multiple times, and I think, it's going to go for a good cause. There's a little tear on the sleeve they're thinking might have happened if the sweater got caught on her engagement ring. That's what they're saying anyway. Well, there you go. I wonder if Harry's going to buy that for Meghan. Whew. All right, let's move on. Moving on to Catherine, William, and the kids, they all showed up for the men's final at tennis today. We know George has been there before, but this was Charlotte's debut at Wimbledon for the very, very first time. Now, I'm going to bring something up, and we're going to discuss it a little later, but George last year, there was a lot of talk about the fact that he was wearing a suit and a tie, even though it was hot. But most of you should know, if you don't already, that there is a Royal Box strict dress code. Men are required to wear suits, jackets, and a tie. And so George wears ties and suits on a regular basis. He's used to it by now, guys. So we're going to discuss that some more in just a little bit because there's another thing brewing. Oh my God. All right. Anyway, Catherine looked fabulous. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for, as usual, all of the information about what she was wearing. Now, Charlotte also was turning heads because her dress was absolutely adorable. It was 169 pounds. Again, thank you to Remoulade Sauce for the information on her outfit. She looks so much like Diana. She also looks a lot like her dad. I think she's a good mix. You guys know what I'm saying? Now, what I really like is the fact that these kids, unlike other children, are not hidden away. They are out, they are about, they're mingling, they're mixing, there's no Photoshop, fakery crap going on. Catherine and William exposed their children while it is a limited capacity, and while there can only be just a couple of photographers who take the photos, and then of course they're shared with everybody else, it's the fact that the children have been well socialized and they understand their roles later on in life, and they understand that there's always going to be some sort of interest in them. And yeah. Also spotted that day is Lady Gabriella and Thomas Kingston and Prince and Princess Michael of Kent with their son, Lord and Lady, because the daughter-in-law, Frederick Windsor. So the family came down the steps as they usually do. They found their seats very quickly, as they usually do. They spoke to several people. They said hello. The kids probably saw somebody in the stand that, they knew, and they were waving, typical kids stuff. They settled in, and then you come to find out that the children love tennis. They love watching tennis just as much as William and Catherine. They have passed on their love of the sport, which I think is wonderful. The kids were obviously really watching what was happening. I have to tell you, I love Charlotte's attitude, because that's what she's got. She's got a lot of attitude. Anyway, they're sitting there with their parents, and they're just as dramatic watching the game as when everybody else in the stand is watching the game. I mean, you can just see the emotion on George's face. Look at him. He's like, oh my God, no, no, no. Yes! And Charlotte also is just extremely, animated during the game. I mean, it's literally just, yeah. All right, now they weren't the only people in the box. Philippe VI of Spain was there as well. And of course, he spoke to Charlotte. It was very nice. This just goes to show you these kids are being well prepared for their futures. Brad Pitt was in the stands, you guys. That's all I'm going to say about that. But here we go. I'm just going to look. Ooh, hi, Brad. Uh-huh. Let me just stare for another minute. Give me just another minute. Okay, moving on. Also, Daniel Craig, 007, and Rachel, I'm not even going to try the last name, they were spotted as the Wales family was coming down the stairs. So, of course, Catherine stopped. So did William, and I believe William introduced George. How lovely is that? Now, of course, there's no better person to learn the game from than your mom and your dad. Unless, of course, you happen to be sitting right in front of Chris Everett, the American former world #1 tennis player. Then you can just turn around and ask her anything you want. My goodness. Now, as you can also see, Emma Watson was there. James Norton was also there in the crowd. It was a big who's who for this very last game. So it was very exciting. Apparently it came down to the wire. We know that Carlos won. And of course, Catherine went down to, hand out the trophy and I guess it's a platter of some sort for second place. Very nice. And then, of course, the guy held up his trophy, and he's from Spain and the King of Spain. Now, for those of you who might not be aware, Catherine is the patron of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, and that's a royal role that she got from the late Queen. So interesting that it's being reported that Meghan contacted and attempted to get appointed as the patron of the U.S. Federation of Tennis. Yep. All right, next up, another blind item came out that basically says what other people are saying, that Harry and Meghan do not live together, and she's living at that ranch. Yeah, I guess we kind of all figured that. All right, moving on. Thank you to Touche on Twitter for pointing this out to me. This person thinks that the brands are not flocking to Harry and Meghan because the royal family is scheming against them. I mean, it doesn't... these people are like, yeah, there's something wrong. Moving on. All right, so here's where we're going back to the whole suit. Mason Harriman, Harry and Meghan's best friend and photographer, put up something saying, you guys need to stop, taking pictures of these babies all the time, and this is just terrible, blah, blah, blah. So then Lizzie Robinson comes out and goes, dude, only a small number of media are invited to cover them and visit all the different places. These are official press engagements. There's one print reporter, one photographer, and a broadcast crew, and then it's put out to other people. Well, let me tell you. So basically, they put this man in his place, okay? He's talking about those kids are being used for revenue. Really? Really? You really want to go there? Okay, so let's go there. So he deletes his tweet, and then Dr. Tessa Dunlap, who we know is like a massive sugar, decides to put her 2 cents in about the fact that George is wearing a suit and a tie. So with that, Reasonable Voice from Twitter points out that there are rules to the royal box. I myself bring up the fact that she's essentially picking on a child who is almost the same age as her husband was when she first met him. No, I'm not kidding. Here's a photo of them together, and he's in a suit and a tie. Yes, that is her future husband. I'm not kidding. Reasonable Voice also pointed out that she's supposed to be a historian. Now, at the same time, Angie RN225 wants somebody to ask Mason Harriman if he has an issue with what Michelle and Barack Obama did with their children when they were on the campaign trail to make him president. They wheeled those kids out for TV ads and photo ops. I didn't hear a peep from him when that was going on. So Dr. Dunlap says, this is so unpleasant and illegal. They're trolling and they haven't learned. She sounds like Christopher Boozy. And then she puts up a picture of her mother and her daughter. Probably not the smartest thing. Now, I find it interesting about the whole revenue thing because, we all saw Meghan Markle at the farmer's market the other day, right? Well, come to find out, per Neil Sean, the 2 children were supposed to go with her to the farmer's market. This is part of her rebranding to show her doing normal things with the kids, being a normal mom. But guess what? She changed her mind because she wants more money from Netflix in order to show her children. So don't talk to me about revenue and using your kids. All right, this article hit it for me. It says, for people who see Harry as an adult-sized toddler having an extended tantrum who went full turncoat and made millions portraying his family in the process, his projects confirm the view that he is behaving like an adult-sized toddler, constantly having temper tantrums. Well, Harry is finally admitting to making mistakes and stupid decisions when it comes to Chelsea Davy. Example, he admits that he caught flirting with another girl while Chelsea was out of town. And he said, I was immature and I hadn't thought about my actions. And, I hadn't thought about Chelsea and how that was going to affect her. Well, that means you were an ass. No wonder she dumped you. Of course, he's blaming the tabloids, and he says, I can't blame her because she always felt that, their lives were in danger. But no, I think Cressida Bonus said it best. He always saw things that weren't really there. All right, you guys, this was just too funny. Harry and Meghan, they're saying, have entered the Anna Nicole Smith phase of their, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a reverse Cinderella story. I completely agree with that. It's just bad news in a long string of blows, snubs, and denouncements. The article says that 3.5 years after they left the royal family, their lives are messy and fraught. I can totally believe that. Now, they're also saying that their streaming, their story on Netflix was not the highest. On Netflix, it was the second highest. Therefore, they're also streaming spares, not the top. Ouch. But yet it costs Netflix 10 times the amount of any of their other streaming, whatever you want to call what they did. Too much money. So now that they have been called grifters, and now that they've been dropped from Spotify, and now that they have been made fun of in South Park, and then they didn't win the Emmy, and then she tried to get on the Emmy board and she was turned down. It's just one thing after another. Telling you. All right, finally, they're saying that the people of Montecito, we've already seen in the newspaper that they don't like them. And now they're really upset because she brought her dog to the farmer's market. Now, there are people online saying that it was for a different farmer's market. It was for Santa Barbara. But on the Montecito Yelp page, it says, is it dog friendly? And it says, no dogs allowed except service animals. So no, it was not a misunderstanding. And also on the Montecito Farmers Market page, like I said, it says only service animals. So when people are going, that was for Santa Barbara, don't be so stupid. Santa Barbara, Montecito, California, people. She brought a dog to an area where dogs are not supposed to be. But of course, now again, the people there are upset. And the reason they're upset is lots of stars live there and they don't have this kind of press intrusion. That alone should tell you that she is the one calling the paps. The neighbors don't want her there. Can you really blame them? You know, these pap walks got real old for the people of Montecito real quick. All right, moving on, you guys. I went and picked up Finn. So what you're going to see here is him seeing me at the vet after being boarded, then him in the car on the way home, and then running the property. Here you go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I was like, watch out. He's going to pee on your floor. Hi. Oh, my gosh, Finn. Hello. Hi. Okay, all right, don't cry. Yes, oh my goodness. Finn, hi. Oh my God, did you miss us? Did you miss us? Huh? Oh my goodness. Oh, yes, yes. What a good boy. Come on, Finn. Look how happy, smiling. Woo. You happy to be out of there? So, as you can see, Finn is very happy to be home. All is good here. So, leave those comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell. If you've already hit the button, double check and make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget to go into the description box to get the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, and my physical address. For those who have donated through the coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.